Have you ever thought how you can get on top of a tall bar in a seated position? It seems to be not so simple. Not everybody can just climb on it and bring oneself up on top of a bar. But there is a move in calisthenics, it is not very known, that can get you into the rear support position with ease and with comfort. I gave it the name behind the back transition muscle up. If we think of calisthenics, we can divide it into two parts. One of each comprises such skills that are primarily focused on holding a position, whether it is front lever, back lever, planche, and many others. While the second category is concerned mostly with tricks, with moves that can get you into a certain position. So the move that I gave the name behind the back transition muscle up is a move because you are doing a certain motion so that you can bring yourself into a certain position, whether it is the rear support position or the up front position. This move is important not just because it can get you into the rear support position, but because it opens the doors to a wide range of other more advanced skills, like the underbar explosive muscle up and the horizontal support under the bar. You will need a little time to learn this move because you will have to adapt to new positions, new movements. Here I am talking about primarily the one-arm flag position and the two-arm flag position and the motion of pushing oneself into the rear support position. For this move, you will need to be able to do at least 10 to 12 pull-ups, 15 to 20 tricep dips. When you are doing the dips, try to lean your body forward. The reason is that the pushing motion in the behind the back transition muscle up move, you are also leaning your body forward. And the so-called asymmetrical muscle up. The reason this skill is very helpful and important is because you also kind of shift your weight on one hand, which is called a flag. Of course, while the other hand is still holding the bar but is down. Once you've learned all of these things and you are prepared, we can now try the movement itself. So let's take it step by step. How is this move being done? First, you would take an overhand grip with which you will get into the flag position later. The second hand you might use an underhand grip because it will be easier to help yourself bring the elbow up. Bring your hands closer to each other because that will also help get into a flag easier. So you pull yourself up, and when your chin reaches the bar, you start to kind of turn your body to the opposite side and bring your elbow up and get into the flag position. From there, you drop the hand that is lower and start rotating further till you can reach the bar from behind with the other hand. Then you enter the position of two flags and you push yourself to the rear support position. One thing you can do is, while you are doing the asymmetrical muscle up, in the first initial part, so you pull yourself up, you bring one elbow, don't bring the other elbow up, remain in this position. So try to hold it as much as you can and notice your body in the asymmetrical muscle up is looking forward. You need your body to look sideways. So if you're holding the flag with the right arm, you look in the opposite direction, to the left. So what you can do is, while you're holding yourself this way, slowly turn your body sideways in the opposite direction. So the right arm, look at the left side. And then the second hand, you can hold a weaker grip. So slowly weaken the grip till you can drop it and hold the flag with just one arm. At first you may receive some pain in your forearm. You can give it a rest for 2 to 3 days for it to recover and adapt, because it's really uncomfortable. But once you can hold it for 2-3 seconds, then persist and go on holding it more and more till you can hold it at least for 8-9 seconds comfortably without any problem. The second phase is very important and might be even more difficult, because while you are holding a one-arm flag, you have to get your second hand behind the back and enter the two-flag position. One thing I would suggest is not to do straight attempts, because it might be very difficult, even if you succeed somehow to get your second hand behind the bar. But once you get into the two-arm flag position, it will be very difficult, because you are not accustomed to this new position of two-arm flag. One thing I would suggest you to do, if you can hold the flag position with one arm, try to learn it with the second hand as well, because after all it's two-arm flag. The second thing you need to do is to train to hold this position itself. And one thing you can do is to go to a lower pull-up bar and do small jumps from the ground and hold it for 1 to 2 seconds. So how you are going to start doing this? You go to a lower pull-up bar, bring both of your hands behind your back in the under grip. So not this, but this one. And push yourself backwards, bend your hands and hold it as much as you can. Don't do an explosive jump. Do a slow, small jump. Hold it. You can do it dynamically multiple times. Don't just try one attempt and holding it for long. Do many attempts. This way your chest, your front part of your shoulders is going to adapt to this new position. So naturally the next step is to train the transition itself, and if you can hold the two-arm flag, now you can do a very great exercise that will hit your chest and your frontal part of your shoulders even more. It's flag to flag rolls. In fact, I would rather train both the transition and the last movement of pushing oneself into the rear support position simultaneously, because what's the point? Yes, you can bring your second arm behind, and then what you are going to do? Sit there? Then you need to push yourself. So you have to train both of them, and if you can hold the two-arm flag position, then you can try to push yourself, even if you can't quite get on top of the bar in a seated position, because there you will meet a problem. Your bottom part is not going to allow you so easily to get into the seated position, but there is nothing to be worried about. You just push yourself to the limit you can, to the point you can. But as far as the transition is concerned, you will need to do these flag-to-flag rolls, and first of all, how are you going to get into this position? That's the question, and you can somehow get yourself in the seated position on a lower pull-up bar, and then you do a reverse pushing motion. I would suggest you to take a wider grip, and you are holding this position and do side-to-side rolls. One thing I would like to emphasize is that when you are doing these rolls from one arm to another, try, when you reach one arm and you are sitting in the flag position, don't just look forward. Try to lean your body sideways. So sideways, and then you turn your body back forward and then go to the other arm. You can sometimes stop in the middle and hold the two-arm flag position, then go to the left hand, and so on and so forth. But even though you've learned the flag-to-flag rolls exercise, you still might find it difficult to do the transition itself. And the reason is because the motion itself is more circular and longer. So when you drop the hand that is lower, you have to do a long range of motion till you get the second hand behind your back and reach the bar. So there are a couple of things that you can do to go past and overcome these difficulties. One thing you can do is while you are holding the one-arm flag, the second hand you put it this way, so you take a overhand grip. In this way you can push yourself with it, and when you go backwards with your back, you drop it quickly, and in this way you generate a momentum and you can grab hold of the bar from behind. Another thing you can do to generate momentum is to move your legs in such a way as to initiate a swing to generate momentum. So you move them as if in a spiral, and when for example, you're holding the flag with the left hand, let's say, and you are doing such motions with your legs from side to side, when your left leg goes forward in a circular motion, you drop your hand and quickly grab the bar from behind. So now let's address more in detail the last phase of this movement, the motion of pushing oneself into the rear support position. So as I mentioned before, a useful exercise that you can do is while you are in the seated position, you do the reverse motion, so you go down, and also while you are holding the two-arm flag position, you try to push to the point you can, but still the goal is to push oneself till you can reach the rear support position. So now we will have to address the previously mentioned prerequisite exercise with dips, the tricep dips. So the important point is to put the emphasis on the direction of your elbows. If you look closely at tricep dips and the dips on the bar, the elbows have the same position, they are oriented backwards. The only difference is the position of your wrists, and that the push you have to do at the behind the back muscle up, your spine has to kind of mold in such a way that the bar is not an obstacle to push. So at the parallel bars, when you are doing the tricep dips, you don't have any obstacle. You can do these pushing motions with your body straight vertical. You can also lean your body as much as you want forward. But when you are doing this pushing motion at the pull-up bar, when your hands are behind, your body is forced to lean forward. So what is the problem? The problem is that your buttocks don't allow you to get into that rear support position for some natural reasons. So to solve this immense problem, when I said you have to do at least 15 to 20 dips, I mentioned and emphasized specifically the orientation of your body. Your body has to lean forward. The reason is that in the pushing motion, in the behind the back transition muscle up, your body is forced to lean forward because the pull-up bar is an obstacle. So you have to lean forward. But the problem is that your buttocks still don't allow you to go up in the seated position, because it is not enough just to go forward. If you just push and go forward, you are not going to be successful. So what we will add to the exercise with dips is we are going to mold our body in the same shape as you have when you are doing this pushing motion in the muscle up, behind the back muscle up. So in this way you are kind of mimicking the same shape of the body that you have while you are pushing yourself with the hands behind the bar. So during this pushing motion, your body doesn't just lean forward, just straight forward, but more in a circular way. So when your butt reaches the pull-up bar, you have to lean your buttocks forward and your chest and your shoulders now on the contrary backwards. So in the first initial part you are pushing and your shoulders go forward, and then your bottom part reaches the pull-up bar. You have to now go on the contrary with the shoulders backwards. You can also go to a lower bar and give yourself a more explosive push from the ground and try to feel this circular motion more and more. Practice this motion. Try to adapt to the rear support position and feel comfortable in it. In fact, most of the problem occurs also at the very last phase of this motion when you reach the rear support position, because of the fear. Many people are afraid to not push themselves too hard and somehow to fall backwards. That's why I suggest you to learn and practice this motion on a lower bar first. Try to push from the ground, and then when you feel confident enough, then you will definitely have success to be able to push yourself all by yourself with the hands. One cool tip that you can do is to pump your legs, start swinging them back and forward to generate a powerful explosive drive. And then when you generated enough power, when your legs start to go forward, you start to push explosively, and then it will be easier to reach the rear support position. After you've practiced and learned all the phases, now you can put them all together, and congratulations, you've achieved a new way to reach the rear support position. When done, this skill really feels smooth and comfortable. So that's it, try it out, it's really a fun and interesting motion, and if you can do it, now we can go on to more interesting and more advanced skills, and there are a bunch of them. Thanks for watching, so go try it out, and I will see you in the next video.